Hi beautiful people, it's me, Rinsky. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys have a wonderful Easter celebration. Remember my last video we made an Easter bunny 3D shadow box lantern? I hope you guys love that video tutorial. In this video we are going to jump from Easter bunny to a turtle basket. But here's the twist. We are going to use an old pair of jeans. So please stick around in this video so I can show you the way I cut my panels. So we will turn this old pair of jeans to this turtle basket. Let's go ahead and let's make it. Wow, it would be so nice for just a click your fabric were cut into pieces, but face the reality. Grab your darker jeans and lay down the pocket pattern at the bottom edge of the jeans. Rather than making your own pockets, this is the best way of choosing the panels wherein the hem is already finished. Again, this is only my preference and you can do whatever makes you happy. Just let your imagination and creativity applies to your projects. I decided to get 4 pockets at the bottom edge of the jeans. You can see me here laying down the pockets pattern pin in place. Then I cut it with my scissors, then pin in place, then cut it again until we complete the 4 pieces of pockets. Then the remaining 2 pockets, I will cut it out from the back pockets of the jeans. Now we are going to cut the outer part of the jeans. This will be the outer shell of our turtle. Again, some pieces of the panel I cut it out with the double stitching from both sides of the legs, and some in the other side seams without double stitching. And I cut some at the solid fabrics without seams at all. I want to have a good structure of my outer shell by cutting those different finish hems. Next, grab your arm pattern and lay it down over the double stitching side seam, which you can usually find it at the inner leg of the jeans. Cut the second arm mirrored to the first cut. Then, grab your leg pattern and trace it all the way around with your marking pen from the opposite side of the double stitching. Lay down the pattern and cut 2 pieces mirrored to each other. Now, grab the head pattern, which is the side panel, and cut 2 mirrored fabrics. This is where we are going to attach the eyes of the turtle later. For the head of the turtle, I cut it out from the other side seam. This will be the top head of the turtle. Then the bottom part of the head, I cut it out with the inside jeans. Move along, grab your bottom outer part pattern, lay it down to the widest part of your leg jeans and cut it out. You can see me here, I pin the pattern first, then cut one side at a time, then pin in place and finish it off using my scissors. I found out this technique works best for me rather than using rotary blade. But again, this is only my preference and you can use whatever cutting tool you may have on hand. Done with the darker jeans, now we need to cut 6 panels for the inner part of the basket and a piece of bottom part also for the inner part of the basket using lighter jeans. Again, you can see me pinning the fabric first, then cut, then pin and cut again. Just loving this technique and I suggest to try it yourself, but make it sure you have a dedicated sharp scissors for cutting fabrics, especially with a thick fabrics like jeans. Otherwise, you will be frustrated if you are using a dull scissors for this project. Last but not the least, we need padding for the inner fabrics. I cut a piece for the bottom and 6 pieces for the inner fabric using fusible fleece. After we cut all the pieces of fabric together, we need to lay down and double check if we cut all the pieces we need for this project before we stitch them together. In this pattern, we need 2 pieces for the head, bottom and top, 6 pieces inner fabric, 2 pieces for the head side panel wherein we will attach the eyes later on, 2 pieces for the legs, 2 pieces for the arm, 1 piece for the bottom, this is the inner part of the basket, 6 pieces for the outer part of the basket, 1 bottom piece for the outer part of the basket, 6 pieces for the pockets, a piece of belt loop from the waistband. Also, we need a piece of fusible fleece for the inner bottom part, 6 pieces fusible fleece for inner part, then a 6-inch cord for the mouth, 2 pieces of black buttons for the eyes, 2 pieces of white felt for the eyes, matching threads, jeans needle size 16, tape measure, turning tool and hem gauge, and a handful of stuffings for the head of our turtle later on, pins, and a pair of scissors. We'll go ahead to my heat press and fuse this fusible fleece to the inner parts of the turtle basket before we stitch them together. While we preheating my heat press to my desired temperature, grab a piece of butcher paper and put it on top of your mat first. Then lay it down the inner part of the fabric face down and put the fusible fleece on top of it with the rough surface facing down. Secure it with heat tape so it will not move around when we flip it, and put another butcher paper on top and the Teflon sheet on the very top before we press them down. Unload the mat and work with the remaining inner pieces. I wanted to mention to you guys that I used 305 Fahrenheit heat for 10 seconds with 150 pounds of pressure. Again, check your manufacturer's heat settings and materials and play around to find out which settings work for you the best. Now the sewing process. Grab the arm of the turtle, fold in half, right sides together, stitch it down with 2.5mm stitch length and 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, and leave a gap for turning the fabric out later. Do the same with the other arm and the rest of the 2 legs as well. Don't forget to trim down close to your stitching line before turning your fabric inside out. Also, don't forget to back stitch before and after your sewing. This is the one that we fused earlier. We will use this one for the inner side of the basket. We'll put this piece of fabric to make a pocket for our inner basket, and we'll pin in place. And we'll go ahead and stitch it from there all the way around. Don't forget to back stitch at the beginning and at the end of your sewing. Do this with the other 5 remaining panels. After finish stitching, cut all the excess threads. Now we are ready to assemble the inner basket by grabbing the 2 inner pockets, right sides face down, and stitch accordingly. Do this with the remaining pieces. Next step is to build the inner basket. We need to stitch down both ends and trim all the excess threads after. Then open up all the seams using your fingers. To finish up the inner basket, grab the inner bottom, pin in place, edges to edges and stitch it all the way around. Now that we are done for our inner basket, we will set it aside and do the outer layer of the basket. For the outer basket, we will do the same as we did with the inner basket. Grab the two panels, right side face down, stitch it with 2.5mm stitch length and do it with the remaining panels. Close the outer basket by joining both ends and stitch it in place. Clean up your threads, then grab the outer bottom piece, pin in place, and stitch it down. Open up all the seams using your fingers. Grab your pencil and mark the positions of the arms, legs, and the loop for the turtle. Pin in place and stitch it all the way around with 1/8 of an inch of a seam allowance. Clean up your threads, flip the inner basket right sides out. Place it on top of the outer basket. Both sides are facing together when you do so. Now that our basket pinned all the way around, we will leave this one open because we will turn our fabric inside out, and then we will put our turtle head this later on. So we'll go stitch in here all the way around up to here. Okay, after we've done flipping it over to the right side, we are now going to stitch the gap. We need to close this one from this one to that one. So I already changed my thread to the matching color, so I'll go ahead and stitch it down. Now grab the two side panels for the head of the turtle. We're going to stitch this down, hand stitch this down using a white thread. I use a felt, circle felt for both two faces, two eyes. And let's go ahead and stitch this down together. Now we are going to stitch this down together. This two face just like that. We're going to stitch it from there to there. Open up your side panel, grab the bottom head of the turtle, mark the center and pin in place. Now we're going to stitch from here all the way around up to this one right here. We will start at the middle and all the way down there. After stitching, flip it over, grab your cord, find the middle, then pin it, and stitch it down with a zigzag stitch. Don't forget to back stitch before and after the stitching. Now grab the last piece of the head, find the middle, right side face down, pin it, and stitch it all the way around. Then turn the turtle head right side out and close all the remaining gap using a straight stitch. We're going to put some stuffings inside of this head to finish our turtle. We're going to stitch this one down right from here to there, from here to there for our turtle. Lastly, install the turtle head inside the pocket and stitch it down in place at the middle. There she goes, all finished. What do you think of our turtle basket, guys? Isn't it so adorable? This is one way of upcycling old jeans and create or turn into a new product. There are lots of possibilities to upcycle jeans and bring it to a new life once again. I hope I can inspire you in some way that you can try to make one for yourself. Again, all the materials I use in this tutorial will be linked below in the description box, including the link where to purchase the pattern. And that's it. So easy to make a DIY turtle basket that you can sell, or you can give it as a gift to your family or friends, or to your teachers or classmates. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, turn that notification bell button on so you don't miss any of my upcoming new videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye!